This is the Life's Journey with Best Friends podcast. Listen as two best friends for over 40 years share our experiences, insights, and unique stories. All right. Hey, BFFers. Welcome to Life's Journey with Best Friends. I am Noelle.
I'm Diana.
And happy St. Patty's Day.
Woo woo, got my green on. I
Got
think
your green on.
So please disregard that I have the same shirt on 2 weeks in a row.
That's okay. That's all right. Nothing
Not on
wrong with that.
purpose.
Nope. Hopefully you washed it. So,
I did actually. It's all nice and clean.
Nice, good girl. So did you do anything for St. Patty's Day?
Not for St. Patty's Day, but we went out this weekend. I didn't have green bear or anything like that.
Okay.
We didn't go out to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but we just went out.
Oh, okay. So we went out to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. We celebrate St. Patrick's Day like Valentine's Day because I hate Valentine's Day. So we went and we did an indoor golf, which was kind of cool. I had never done that before. I will say
explain that.
It's a simulation. It's kind of really unique. So it's almost like a screen, and you literally hit the ball towards the screen, and it kind of then shows what the ball where it should be going on the screen screen.
That's pretty cool, like actually.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's a little awkward at first till you get used to it. I will say I did not like. I really like being the passenger princess. Meaning when we have the golf carts and Dave's driving and I just have my little drink. Here I was like, oh, I'm just kind of sitting here waiting. So that was kind of boring, but it was fun. We had a good time, and then we went out to a place, saw some Irish step dancing, and
I like that. That's awesome.
It was cute. Yeah, they were girls and a boy from a local place, and so they ranged probably from 16 to 18 down to 5 years old. Oh my gosh, they were adorable. Yeah. And I drank my Guinness, so we were good. Yeah, we had a great time. And up in New England, especially Massachusetts and Boston, it's always St. Patty's Day is a little crazy. So I learned a couple of new things. So one of them is, do you know what a Borg is?
Okay, it's so funny. Yes, I do. I know that it's a drink. It's like booze and energy drink and something. I don't.
How do you know that?
TikTok.
Oh, okay. So I had no idea. I saw this today, and we had the St. Patty's Day parade in Southie, and the kids, and I'm gonna say kids, were all walking around. It is a gallon of water that you pour half of it out, and then you fill it with vodka, and then you put in either Kool-Aid or Mio or stuff with electrolytes in it, and they actually name them. They come up with these kind of funny names, and they write it on the side. Now we'll have Julie show a picture. There were so many confiscated at the parade. It was ridiculous, but at the same time, everyone knows it's alcohol. And look at this. So this one right here with the police officer walking, where do you see where they have them out? The police put them there. They confiscated.
Oh my God. So they know how many they got.
It's in front of the courthouse. Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, everyone was yelling, free the Borg, free the Borg. Then I started looking and went down the rabbit hole. Oh my gosh, they were everywhere. Chicago, Buffalo. I didn't even know that this was a damn thing.
It's huge at college.
Yes, and what really took off, I guess, a couple of years ago. However, these idiots are walking around with alcohol. You can't drink in public. You're lucky you didn't get arrested. And now you don't have your alcohol. At least
you're under 21, right? So
at least we did it like in Coke bottles or water bottles, or in this day and age, you're Stanley, and no one's going to confiscate it because they don't know.
I know. They don't care.
I was floored, and I never heard of this. The only Borg I've ever known because I'm a nerd, is from Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's the
Yeah.
only one
I,
thing I
I
knew.
actually knew this. I knew that was in I almost said Star Wars, but I knew that it was an alien thing.
Star Trek.
Borg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you, I don't want to know how you know that because you almost said
Yeah.
Star Wars. So, Jim, okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That totally makes sense. So, and then the other thing
Do
that,
you want to see some names that people came up with
yeah, yeah, would
for the
Yes,
love,
board?
yes. There's some
Okay, hold on.
pretty cool ones.
yeah, some of them are hysterical. Okay.
So, can you see this?
Yes, I love that first one. The
So,
notorious.
notorious BORG, Borgasm, the Borgston Tea Party, No One Borgs the Wicked, Five Big Borgs, Metro Borgin, Pop Out at One in the Borgin, Can't Just Hand Him the Friggin' Borg, yo. Leporgan,
That's
Just
cute.
Put the Fries in the Borg, bro. Borg me, I'm Irish. Borg leaf clover. Are we going to keep playing I tag or are you going to holler at your Borg? I woke up in a new Borgatti, a Borgtion clinic.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Who's a good Borg? Plan Borg, mustard on the Borg, play Borg Cardi. Like, is that supposed to be like Bacardi? I don't know.
I don't know. I
There
don't
was
know, but
one that someone said they named after a Red Sox player, Alex. His name is Alex Bregman, but they called it Alex Borgman.
so I that it's kind of funny. I mean,
It's funny. It's a
it
kid
is.
thing. I mean, but how stupid are you to bring it out on the streets of Boston
Right. And it's not, well,
when
although,
they're cracking down.
right. Well, that's why they
They
had the parade earlier because last year it was a shit show. So they were
so
hoping.
I was actually, and this really drives me crazy, but they only had 10 arrests last year, and this year they only had 9. I
Huh,
get it's all the underage drinking, but you only had 10 arrests or 9
right.
arrests, and there were a lot of people there.
Oh,
So,
there's over 1 million people there. So yeah.
yeah, so I think the police are just I don't know if it's the police or a councilman that's just getting too old to have fun anymore because I feel like, you know what? You did it probably when you were younger and it's the rite of passage.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, if they don't keep, the reins on it, then it's really going to get out of control. So,
No,
but
I know, I get that. I
yeah,
get that. I don't think the kids should be drinking out in public, but
yeah,
it's, you pre-game, you post-game.
right. Exactly. Yeah. And you bring it in a bottle of
Or
soda,
you're at a house
else put it in.
party that's on the parade route, right?
Right. Right. Think about it. We would do that, but we wouldn't really be out in public with it. We made the shit in the house and drank it in the house, and it looked like soda or like when we mixed wine in the Coke. That was
That
so
was
gross.
gross.
That was
We
so
were
disgusting.
drinking out of straws.
Oh, so your mother and father would know. What the hell is wrong with us? That's so gross. Oh, that was your 16th birthday.
Was it really?
Yeah. Your brother bought us the wine
No, he bought us a case of beer.
and wine.
Oh,
And your
did he?
parents took the beer and then they didn't know we had the wine, so that's why we poured it in our Coke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gross. Gross. So, hey, that was a tidbit. We haven't had a tidbit in a while.
I know. I think we probably already talked about that one though.
Probably. So also I learned, the Chicago River, how they dye it that neon green. Well, that the stuff they put in it is actually orange when they put it in the
Really?
water. Yeah. And it goes that shamrock green for a little while and then it has a green hue probably for a few days and it will last a little while. But yeah, they won't tell you what it is. It's a secret that the Chicago plumbers have been doing for decades. But yeah,
I
it's
saw the
something.
boat. It looked like it was coming out green.
No, it's orange. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Isn't it?
did know. I read that about the plumbers do it on the firefighter boat.
Yeah, yeah, they just squish it out. They squirt it out. Yeah, so I guess it started in 1961. A plumber had
Oh.
created this stuff that if he put it through pipes, it would turn green and you'd be able to see where it was leaking.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So then they were
That's a
like, "Oh, it's all made out of all natural ingredients. So the fish, they've, researched with the fish to see if it bothers them. They don't even care. They just swim right through it, and then in a few days it's gone. So I think
right. It just
it's interesting. So
that's pretty cool to see.
yeah, I can't even imagine. I mean, I've seen it, on TV and I've seen the pictures. But yeah, that's pretty awesome. And I'm like, why don't we do that around here? But I can't imagine they would do the Charles River, that would, yeah. Oh, it's cleaner than it used to be, but I still
I
wouldn't
know
go
it is. I know it is because I remember the governor jumped in it because he said it was clean.
All right, so what are your stories for this week?
So I have a few. Like I've been thinking about this. You know, the price of eggs, we have talked about that.
Yeah,
Easter's coming up.
right.
And like I my thought was like, how are people gonna buy eggs to color? Or are they gonna be able to?
Well, that's actually a good question. The price of eggs is coming
They're
down.
coming down. So I actually have a little
Yay, she did her research.
um so the national average price of eggs have a wholesale price have dropped for the third week in a row. And so I was thinking, and that's what I was thinking about was that with, because when my kids were little, eggs were 99 cents a dozen, and
Right,
I bought a dozen for each child.
right.
You know what I mean? So I just think that it's crazy.
It is. So as you know, we are egg people in this house, especially my
Yep.
husband, and it's absolutely insane. What I've noticed is even though the price has come down, there's still some price gouging out there. And I say that because typically we buy organic eggs, which before all of this, they ran anywhere between $5 to $7 for a
Yeah, they
dozen.
were always more expensive.
Yeah.
Always.
Right now, Hannaford brand. Hannaford brand is $9. They're more expensive than the organic ones that I buy, and I don't understand that. So I know
Hannaford is $9 a dozen
$9. Yes,
for eggs.
yes, for eggs, 8.99. Is that not ridiculous? And several times in the last few months, they would substitute. We would ask for, these specific organic ones, and they would be like, nope, they're out of stock. And they would give us their brand, and it was 8.99. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I don't understand it. However, the prices are coming down for many different reasons. So some of the
So think
reasons,
about that.
yeah, it's insane because of the avian flu. Now I did look this up. If you have a flock of hens and you have one that tests positive for it, you have to cull all of them
Why?
because it's transmitted so quickly.
Really?
So if you had 12
Interesting.
12 birds, all of them done. If you had 1 million birds, all of them done. And that's what was happening. And that's why they had to, cull so many of them.
Because it was getting in the big places that
Yeah,
had a ton of.
exactly. So, there's also, I don't want to say the gestational period of a chicken, but I learned because I've been trying to, we still want to have chickens.
You got to do the rental.
I know, I love the rental.
Test it out.
But so typically it takes hens from the time they're hatched to the time they can lay an egg about 4.5 to 6 months. Now they started culling all the birds back in like October, November, December. So now we're kind of coming on the upswing of it. So now there are more birds that are actually
Getting
laying.
ready to have eggs.
Yeah. And also believe it or not, the time change helps them as well too. They prefer to lay eggs so in the winter when it's darker, they still lay eggs, but not as many. Whereas in the
They
summer,
like it in the
they lay more. Yeah.
they like it in the day.
Yeah, they like it in the day. So, and then also, the government has gotten involved in part of it as well too. So that's had a little bit of repercussion. I shouldn't say repercussions, but that's changed some things too. So which is good, but you're
Yes.
right. Easter, what's everyone gonna do? And I
Right. Everybody bakes, they color eggs, they make the egg cakes. Some people do the hard-boiled eggs that they do. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Easter is a very egg-centric, it's focused on eggs.
sorry, that was funny. But yes, it is. It definitely is.
So it's like, yeah, it's a big question. I wonder what everybody's going to do. But at least they say, so this little article that I pulled from ABC News, wholesale price fell to $4.15, which is down $2.70.
That's a
That's
lot,
great.
actually. That's a
Yeah,
huge savings. Yeah,
but as of the end of February, a dozen of eggs were going for wholesale price of 8.05. That's just ridiculous.
it is. It is. And that wasn't even like organic eggs. That was your regular, natural, I shouldn't say natural, your regular run of the mill egg.
Yeah, they say they're down 35% or something. So
Yeah, that's good. We should, now that the hens are maturing a little bit, we should start seeing it a little bit better. But yeah, you know, government stepping in a little bit has definitely helped. And for people like, should say Dave, who loves
right.
his eggs.
Well, he does it for a reason.
Yeah, and it's it's been definitely I've seen a little bit of savings in the last couple of weeks, so I'll take whatever I can get. So
Yeah.
I didn't even think to look at this. Do you remember the commercial when we were younger? Brown eggs or local eggs?
Brown eggs are local eggs and local eggs are good.
Local eggs are fresh. Yeah.
Okay, fresh, whatever.
I don't know what lays a white egg. It's got to be a certain breed.
What makes it white?
Yeah, it's got to be a certain breed of hen. So I'm gonna have to find that out.
And is there a difference between, is there a difference between a brown egg and a white egg?
No, not nutritionally. It's just the shell. So it must have to do with the type of bird. So think about like oh my gosh, what are the ones that robins? They lay blue eggs.
Blue eggs.
Right. So let's see, what kind of chicken lays white eggs? That's so funny. And talk about a core memory. Geez, who the hell knows what year that was out. So yes, there are specific chickens that lay white eggs. They're a white leghorn, a Polish chicken, an Egyptian something, a Hamburg, a California white. So I know that those are not popular up here in the Northeast. They're more of a warmer bird. So that makes sense why brown eggs are local eggs and local eggs are fresh. So there we go.
There you go.
Yeah. So you learn something new every day.
Yep.
All right, next story. What's your next thing?
Okay, so I got two very sad stories next.
Why?
Um, did you hear about the man in Connecticut that was held by his stepmother for like 20 years?
Yes. What is wrong with people?
Noelle, he weighed like 68 pounds when they brought him to the hospital. He's 30. He's in his 32.
Yeah, he's been held captive for over 20 years. He had all rotten teeth. He
I used to it's just like I don't know how people can be that mean. Like in fourth grade is the last time he went to school. So let's start at the beginning. There was a house fire in Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
And what happened was this man that was being held captive lit the house on fire on purpose so he could get out.
Right.
I wonder where he got the stuff from. I can't wait for the interviews once he's better
So I know it was
Uh,
a lighter, I know it was hand sanitizer and a piece of paper.
yeah,
So
yeah,
who knows
interesting.
where he got the lighter? Yeah.
So he set his house on fire so he could get out,
Uh, uh.
and it worked.
Imagine if it didn't work. I guess he was probably just at the point where, you know what?
If I die, I
I don't have
die.
a life, right?
Right,
So,
I'm gonna die anyways,
oh,
so let's try this. So he's 5'9" and he weighed 68 pounds at the age of 32 when he was found at this fire, which was last week.
ugh,
Um, or actually it was February 17th. And Ma- what I keep imagining a couple things. The woman that held him captive was his stepmother. She's 56 years old. She owns the property. His dad passed away in 2023, I want to say. The wife, of course, is blaming the boy being held captive on the dad, but since the dad's dead, why wouldn't you let him out?
right, exactly.
So I don't understand that defense, but whatever. Um, let's see what else they say. So imagine being the firefighters
No,
found him.
no, I can't
Could
even
he
imagine.
walk,
I
you
mean,
think?
and she must have a mental issue to be able to do that to another human being. Like that's just, I, I have three stepchildren. I, I love them to death. I would die for them. I can't even imagine like doing something that cruel to, let alone a person, but someone that
Right.
you're a family. Like, come on.
She
It
must have felt threatened by him, I guess. But this is what the investigators said. They quickly realized there was a room in the house that appeared to have exterior locks on it. And they began speaking to the male. He disclosed that he had been held captive in the house for approximately 20 years. While receiving medical care, the male victim disclosed to the first responders that he had intentionally set the fire. He said, I wanted my freedom.
oh,
Yeah.
well,
And he said, I have been held captive approximately since I was 11 years old.
so don't you think that school would have been like, okay, this
I
kid
was
is
wondering
missing,
about that too, because they pulled him out in fourth grade.
right?
He,
Did they
you know,
say, like, wouldn't they have been like, okay, did you move? Like, what happened? Like,
I guess if you say you move, how will they know you didn't? As a
well,
parent, as an adult, you take what the other adult says, I guess.
well, I don't know because when we moved from our other house to here, and we were going to have Em finish her senior year in the high school where she went, in the town that she went to her entire life, they knew we moved. They contacted us before we even contacted them. I have
How'd
no,
they know?
I don't know. We have no idea. So there's got to be a way that they find out. I have no clue how they found out. To this day,
Yeah.
you have no idea.
So he got in trouble. This is when they pulled him out of school. He got in trouble because he was in the trash, picking it and eating it
Because he was so
because he
hot.
was starving.
Oh my, that poor, oh, oh,
In fourth grade. In
I,
fourth grade. I feel
oh,
like the school actually failed him because shouldn't they have had social workers and
yeah,
people reach out to him and his family
right.
and
And
you're
then
right.
all of a sudden he disappears. That is a little sketchy. Yes, for
Yeah,
sure.
and no one followed up, or maybe they said he went to live with his mother. Who knows? I mean,
That's true. You don't know, but you would think social services would have followed up because it was definitely something that had red flags. Here's the kicker. She's out on bail. Sorry, she's
I
out on
know.
bond.
Yeah,
What?
500,000 or something crazy,
Right.
300,000.
Like that's insane. You have
Where'd she get that money?
they probably mortgaged the house or whatever. But how do you hold someone captive for over 20 years?
I don't know.
Even I know you're innocent until proven guilty, but come on. Like
So This is what kills me though. It says she says he wasn't locked in the room. She did not restrain him in any way. She provided him food. She's blown away by the allegations. She says the stepson's late biological father dictated how the boy was to be raised. Again, once the dad died, why are you still raising him like that?
Right?
He says the system, during the background investigation, police found that there were two incidents in the Waterbury Police Department from that address back in 2005.
So
The first request was for the Department of Family and Children and Family.
okay. So there you go.
They failed them.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful. Awful,
It
awful.
said because the victim's friends had not seen him lately and were concerned about him. Police went to the house and saw that it was clean and they spoke to the victim, but at that point in time, there was no cause for an alarm.
Of course not, because the
DC,
kid was probably scared shitless to say anything in front of his parents.
right. DCF released a statement on Thursday evening saying that it has looked extensively at our current old rec database to see and to find records, but they really haven't found anything.
Oh, this is
Really
going to be
haven't.
a
We
crazy
took it.
story.
Yeah, and they say they expunge every 5 years.
Of course. So when this goes to trial, maybe you can see if you can get on the case in the jury.
Imagine? No, because I'd be biased, I think.
Yeah, probably. Well, you'll have to keep this on your radar and keep updating us to see the craziness that will.
Yeah, I'm sure once he gets better and is released,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's going to be interviews up the wazoo.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. All right. What's your other sad story?
The spring breaker.
The one
That
down in the
is,
Dominican?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's why I always tell my kids, do not leave each other. When you're with your friends, you stay with your friends.
All right. So tell everyone if they haven't heard this poor girl what happened.
So, she was on spring break in the Dominican, was totally shit-faced. Um, because they have video of her,
Yeah.
and they have video of her with a boy. Okay, so she was totally shit-faced. They actually have video of her puking in the bushes. A whole group of them left wherever they were at, a bar or whatever, and went to the beach. And it shows it was four of them, but there was a whole big group down there. But on the video, it shows four of them, three girls and a boy. And then shows them all going down, and then it shows two girls coming back, and then the next morning a boy coming back. No,
It's Sadiksha Kananki.
but it's really sad because one, obviously she's no longer with us, and did he do something to her? There's rumors that they were all swimming in the ocean. That ocean over there is kind of rough, and
Yep.
that day it had been rough. The red flags were out. Did she drown and they were so drunk and they didn't even know what happened? There's just so many things.
Right.
The boy that is a person of interest is detained, I believe, still in Punta Cana, so he's helping them. I think yesterday they found her flip-flop and maybe a beach cover-up.
Oh, that's
So,
so yeah, that it's definitely you never leave your friends behind ever. Like no.
and we had our experience in Punta Cana. I mean, you don't know if she got drugged.
Right.
You don't
Right.
know if she kidnapped?
Right. Yeah,
Like,
you have no
no,
idea. Right. Because so
very pretty girl.
right when we left the property, we the cab that we took back was not allowed on the property. When our driver in the cab stopped to get us food, he told us stay in the car. So yeah, who knows? I mean, it is a very dangerous place off of the property. So
Yeah. And on the property.
yeah, all I can think of is the Natalie Holloway thing down in
It's
Aruba, like forever
right.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, and did they, but I'm hoping this is just, they were drunk and I don't
Yeah.
want foul play.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
Just an accident. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I hope it was an accident and not something intentional,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and
I mean, it's terrible anyways, but yes, it's something intentional and nefarious would make it even worse. Yeah.
right. And so the other thing is, we have kids and they're that age, and it's like, this is why I tell them, cover your drinks.
Yeah.
Take your drink with you wherever you go. Do
Uh-huh.
not separate. Stay with your friends. Never leave a man behind. Never.
Right.
I
Right.
don't care what that friend says. You never leave a friend behind.
No, you
As,
can't.
as girls, you should even boys.
This day and age, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, there are crazy people out there, and we know this. Unfortunately, we know
Right.
that, because you see it on the news all the time. So, oh, that's awful. Yeah, I can't imagine that poor family and her friends too. Here they are having the time of their life, and yeah, that's something they'll never forget. Oh, that's too
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, it's just so sad. And, I feel bad. I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Has spring break gotten out of hand?
You know what? That's a good question. I think that it's, yeah, maybe it has. That it's like they just assume that you can do everything and anything you want, and it's leave it in Vegas, that type of thing. Whatever happens on spring break stays on spring break, and that's not necessarily the case anymore.
Right. I mean, and I know back in our day, they had the MTV spring break. That was wild.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like it's really kind of gotten out of control.
Well, because also
Yeah,
we right, we know a lot more about like sex trafficking and that kind of stuff. I'm sure that happened back then, but we didn't know about that. Now it's, we know about it, and
Right.
you have to be
That and
really careful.
the date rape drug, I don't
Yeah.
know, was that really out there then? It's out there now, you know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? So good. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that if I was a college kid, I mean, I would still do spring break, but I wouldn't do a large group thing.
Well, I think kids at that age still think that they're invincible, that
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen to them. So I don't know if that's something that will ever change unless it's, we keep beating it into their heads. Like,
I know.
uh,
And I feel like we lucked out by the skin of our teeth. Nothing bad happened to us. You know what I mean?
totally. Yes, absolutely. I agree with that because we did some stupid shit. So, yeah. Oh. Right,
Yeah, exactly.
do you have anything happy you want to talk about?
I told you I had some sad stories. Well, I just want to get it out there. I want people, I mean, it's sad. So,
Yeah. And be,
but
also for people to be aware of it, to talk about it. So you're not like pushing it under the rug, like that couldn't happen to me. That couldn't
right.
happen to anyone that I know. And it does. Yeah, for sure.
And these fall in my wheelhouse because this is like popular news. So,
Right. You're crazy. What the fuck stories.
yeah, really, these were two what the fuck stories.
Right? Yeah, for sure. No. Oh my gosh. Do you know I went on and they were sold out at 9:05
because they're not real.
I know. But I was waiting and waiting and waiting, and I kept refreshing. And then I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So I totally remembered to go on. So sorry for people that are not on Facebook watching us or on YouTube. Julie showed us that the goggles I talked about last week for Buffalo Wild Wings that I got duped on were sold out. They sold out in less than 5 minutes. So I went on and I was like, you know what, fuck this. If they're up there, if they're real, I'm buying them. I'm going to buy them and I'm going to wear them. And I was like, oh shit, they sold out.
Oh, it would have been funny if we could have bought them.
Oh my gosh. I wouldn't even have said anything to you guys and I would have just worn them on the podcast. Oh yeah, I was bummed. I was like, oh, I'll go look on eBay or something to see if anyone's
you need to make those and just wear them on the podcast. That would be great.
Oh my gosh. We've said before, or I've said before, I don't listen to the podcast because I don't like to hear myself, but
Same.
I have listened and I did listen to the other one today and I was cracking myself up. I was like so serious and so sincere, like, yeah, they made these goggles, these glasses. And then Julie's like, Noelle. And I'm like, yeah. I was like, oh, you dumb bitch.
So funny. You were duped.
I was duped. Totally. Oh. Well, we have, you know what else we haven't talked about a little bit is a word of the day or a phrase. So I have one. You ever know anyone that's poolingual?
No.
And
what is that?
It's a person who speaks constant shit. They're poolingual.
I like that. They're a shit talker? That fits right in with us. Are we poolingual? Are we poolinguals? I think we are.
We are. But I was just like, oh my gosh, I know people that are poolingual. And I just kind of, roll my eyes. But I like our definition of it better. We just talk shit talk,
We're poolingual.
Well, so. All right. That's pretty much all I've got for this week. I was really interested in that. I think we should have a Borg party. Julie should have a pool Borg party.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I'll do it. I'll plan it for this summer. Diana, when you're home, we'll know when you're home.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love the idea. We'll have to come up, everybody will have to name their Borg. Bring it down.
And we should do like a live show. Drinking our Borg.
No, that's not
or at least take pictures and videos and have it on
no live show because that would not be pretty. Borg, the pool, and us. No, thank you.
You know what we need to do? First drink of the night, last drink of the night.
Oh yes, definitely.
That would be funny.
That would be funny.
This is my Borg. I'm Noelle, and this is my first Borg drink of the night.
My Borg.
And then I'll be like, and now this is my Borg.
Oh my God, yes, that would be fun.
Definitely. All right, that sounds like a good plan. All right, BFFers, that is it for us this week. Thank you so much for, listening, hanging out, and just
Shit talking.
Yeah. Oh, and don't forget, share our podcast, write a review. Yep, give us 5 stars, and we'll enter you in for our giveaway on April 12th. So, but always remember, it is better to have a friend with 2 chins than
2 faces.
All right, guys, we'll see you next episode. Thank you.
You've been listening to Life's Journey with Best Friends. For details on any of the things we've mentioned in the podcast, including photos, visit our website lifesjourneybff.com. You can also email us at lifesjourneybff@gmail.com or visit us on Facebook, Instagram, or Threads.
Remember, no matter where life takes you, you are never alone when you have a best friend by your side. Until next time.